going back to if can a man be forgiven for it? I feel like there's so much input that you can have. How can you choose not to?
The time I kind of discovered, oh shit, I can get away with certain things. I was so young in it, in terms of I was 14, 15, just doing a madness. Obviously I knew my mum came home at a certain time. So from between those times that I finished school and then she got home, do you know what I mean? Yeah. It was just stuff like that. I knew I could just kind of.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. When you got two parents in the house,
that's what I'm saying. It's
very different.
It's very,
and I think
very
that's
different.
I think that's why you see some of those stats the way they are, because a mum can only do so much by herself. A dad can only do so much by himself. There's only so much you can do as one parent. And sometimes, as I said, your mum's done an amazing job with you, but sometimes by the time, as a parent now, by the time you take your kids to school, you go to work yourself, you come home, you make the dinner for them, you bathe them, you send them to school, and you do that 5 days through the week, and then the weekend, you're just trying to catch up, really. There's no time to actually give them proper time. Yeah.
It's a free-for-all. It's a free-for-all. Sometimes my kids can certainly show us who's boss at times. Definitely. Like you said, once you've gone through that whole week of everything going on, the energy just saps from you,
Yeah.
And that's why when you think about those mothers who do it alone, you've got to take your hats off to them.
100%.
Because you've got to think sometimes it's hard with just two of us here, let alone just one parent looking after one, if not more than one child.
And it's mad because there was times that I know I've definitely stressed out my mum, 100%, no doubt. I was saying,
we all have.
Everyone has, and it's mad. And I'm just one child. Do you know what I mean? And my sister's 12 years older than me. So obviously when she had me, it was actually starting again. So technically, I'm not an only child, but I'm an only child. Do you know what I mean? In that kind of sense. So it was a case where when I did stress her out, that's just me. So imagine she had more kids. Exactly. And it was just I had younger brothers that were it was maybe 2 years apart or 1 year apart. It was carnage already. So with more kids, it just makes it even worse. And
I think as a single parent, you must feel like the buck stops with you. Do you know what I'm saying? You can't moan and complain about the dad not being there after a certain time. You just have to get on with it. And you feel like those days that are stressing you out, you must just feel like there's only so much I can do because I need someone to speak to him. That's not me. You know what I'm saying? That's not me. That is a man. A man needs to speak to him. A man needs to get through to him. I can't. And sometimes the uncles can speak to you. The bigger cousins can come around and speak to you. But there's nothing like your own dad having a word with you.
Yeah, you know having a one-on-one.
Yeah, having a one-on-one.
And that gets missed. And that's why for me, I do, going back to if can a man be forgiven for it? I feel like there's so much input that you can have. How can you choose not to? But like I said, there must be a multitude of different reasons why it doesn't happen. But just like I said, the one-on-one time, showing you how to, I don't know, little small things like showing you how to do a tie, showing you how to shave for certain guys, little things like that. There's all these little things, and I think that's where I think we're having a lack of men. Must come from a lack of fathers as well. We do hear the women sometimes complain about men not being man enough and all this type of thing. But
that's where man enough starts.
Yeah,
that's where man enough starts. I'll be honest with you,
absolutely.
If any man is walking around with his chest puffed up saying I'm a man, I'm a big man, and you've got kids out there that haven't seen you or don't know your face or could walk past you in the street, I'm struggling to see how you call yourself a man. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Shout out to definitely all the dads that are just there to start with anyway. You know what I'm saying? Man. Listen, as a man, we all can do more, but shout out the dads that are actually just there. Just actually present.
At least
trying a thing.
Yeah, man.
At least trying a thing. Because as Stu said, we're starting this podcast for people that understand that we're all, dads especially, we're all going through it. And it's not spoken about enough. And we're all trying to figure it out along the way. No matter how it may look from the outside, no one's perfect. Not every situation is perfect. And we're all just trying to figure out this thing called fatherhood. We're trying to juggle, trying to be successful for our family and our kids, but at the same time, be there for them emotionally, how they need, and dealing with all the other pressures that come. Do you see what I'm saying? So,
you have to.
It's actually just there.
Absolutely, man. It's such a big responsibility. And if there are any fathers or soon to be fathers, veteran fathers even, right, that are listening to this, honestly, step up to the plate. There's so much that you can instill in your child. It doesn't matter if you're being told by your ex-partner or other people around you that you're worthless and all the rest of it. Do your bit. I think it's really important for you to just do your bit before you look at what everyone else is doing and before you look at what everyone else is saying. It's really important that you look at what you've created. Yeah, that child is there alone. A child is there alone, and then they're nurtured by the mum, family members, and so on. But at the very least, do your bit. Speak to the child, teach them things, listen. Learn things from them as well. If the unfortunate thing happens where you and again, I'm not speaking from a man, or I'm not speaking from a place of experience, but if there is a breakdown in the relationship, I would like to think, after you've taken some time out to think about what the next steps are, you do carve out some time to say, right, this is my job as well. I've got someone out there I've got something out there who's living, right, and I need to make sure I raise them in the right way.
It doesn't even matter what age, though. It doesn't matter what age. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what age. I think I think there has to be. I think it's high time that people do take a bit more accountability now and say, do you know what, me and the mum are not getting along, but I'm 100% going to be there for that child who's gonna turn into an adult and have their own questions to ask at some point.
And I think
take some accountability.
I think 100%. You're spot on. And I think dads, all of us need to understand that if a situation like that happens where you break up with a mum, shit's not going right between you and her, and she's, for whatever reason, you worked out that you can only see the kid once a week or once every 2 weeks. Yeah. That's not the end of the world. There's dads that are killing it seeing their kids once every 2 weeks, because when they see that child, that time that they spent with their child is the most valuable time. It can add up for 2 weeks of someone who lives with their kids. You see what I'm saying? Because when they get that chance to be with their child, they're not taking that for granted. So whatever the situation is, I don't think there's any excuse. We all know things happen, things break down, people change and situations change. But if I'm not speaking to the dads who may have got into a situation with the mother of their child and the mother of their child is not letting them see the child. That's a different conversation. That's a topic for another day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if you can work with the mother of your child, and if she's allowing you to see the child, then be a dad. Be that person. You know what I'm saying? There's FaceTime. There's all these things that allow us to be there without actually being in a room nowadays. Just because you can't live in the same household, don't mean that your role as a dad has stopped. You know what I'm saying?
I think what you said has kind of stuck with me. Like, there's nothing like getting like advice from your dad. Like, when you said it might be like the older cousins or the uncles. Like, say like, I don't know, you might be going down the wrong path. Because there's times that I've even spoken to you, Ryan, like, or you spoken to me about certain things that I was doing that, say, my mum wasn't happy with. And like, it's all well and good me speaking to you and that, and that's fine. But I know as soon as I finish talking to you, I end up doing the same thing again because it's like, it's not sinking in. But I think from like a father standpoint, like if my dad was there and he kind of guided me in the right direction, if he was always there, or even like the once a week thing, even if he was doing that and he found out I was doing this, maybe even hearing it from him, it would have been like, all right, cool, like let me kind of slow down. But when you hear it from other people, it's not the same. And it's not just you, obviously, that's spoken to me. A lot of people have, and I haven't listened. And obviously, those who can't hear must feel.